Hello. All right, good morning. We are going to get this party started today. Hopefully from the title, you know that this is going to be a video that is full of tips and tricks, because in network marketing, which is what you are if you are a Lavelle brand promoter, third-party validation is key. You know, like you hear things like cash is king in the world. Well, in this realm, third-party validation is the king of the world. This is what will make your job super easy. It'll make you way less needy and salesy. And you guys, it's this huge support of other people and other things that help you grow your business. So if you've ever had trouble understanding what third-party validation is or how to do it, comment below and let me know. But I'm hoping that today's video will really help clear this up. So let's start with what the heck is third-party validation. Well, third-party validation is anything and everything and everyone except for you. You do not need to do all the talking. As a matter of fact, the less talking you do, the better off you're going to be. So when people are first interested in your product, so you know we've done all these videos leading up to this. We are making our social media profiles and posts and information. We're getting people curious about what we're doing. We're getting people excited to ask questions. Oh, hang on one second. Sorry, I was getting a phone call. So we have all these things, you know, that we're doing to get people excited, to get people asking questions about what we do. And so now you're at a point, let's say you're at the point where someone's like, so what is this Thrive stuff? Or what is it that you're doing? The best thing you can do, and I think I've said this in a previous video, is now zip it and turn it over to someone or something else. And so I know a lot of you are immediately thinking three-way calls, and we are going to dive into three-way calls in this video because they are probably, if not the biggest indicator of success in your business. The more you're getting people on the phone with someone else, the better off you're going to be. But a lot of people don't think about all the other tools that we have as promoters that are third-party tools. So I want to talk about that in this video. And the reason that third-party validation is so important, I want you to think about the fact that when you're talking about your product, this thing you're so excited about, you're so in love with Thrive, your friends and family, they already know you. So they already have a preconceived notion. They might already think, oh, that Sally, this is the fourth thing she's been super excited about. I wonder what's coming next, right? Or, oh, Sally says it's changing her life, but I don't see that much of a difference, right? They already have something in their head. They've already judged the situation. It could be your grandmother who loves everything about you, but she's already kind of made up her mind that you're just kooky, right? Or it could be the total opposite of that. It could be a complete stranger, someone that you meet at the store, or a friend of a friend connects you guys together. They don't know anything about you. So they don't trust you yet either. So no matter who you meet, no matter what, if it's your cold market or your warm market, people aren't going to just listen to you. And I want you to think about, I know there's a couple people who maybe so deeply trusted the person who talked to them about it that they just jumped right on it. But I want you to think about when you first heard or saw the product Thrive. Did you jump right on it? Did you believe your friend? Did you believe your cousin? Did you believe this total stranger that you saw post something on Facebook? Probably not. It probably took you some time. I will give you the example of me. A lot of you know my story that the only reason I even agreed to try Thrive was because I was going to prove it wrong. But prior to that whole story starting, and Jesse, I hope you don't mind me sharing, this is the breakdown of how it happened. When I first saw Jesse post about it on Facebook, my first initial honest to goodness thought was, well, good for them. The other product that they used to sell must not have worked out and they're trying something new. That was my only, I didn't really know Jessie. I knew her from a friend. I had known in the past that she had represented a different product. And so I just thought, oh, you know, good for them. They're trying something new. I didn't put any validation to it. I didn't. I just kind of thought that and moved on. It wasn't until I started doing my own research, which not a lot of people are going to want to do their own research. It just depends on what they're curious about. But when, I can't remember how long it was, after I ordered the product and got started, Jessie did drop off I have it right here as a matter of fact, she dropped off a magazine. And it wasn't until I read that magazine that I decided to become a promoter. Because I saw other people who I did not know being super successful, and I thought, well, I could do that. So it's not the person who you signed up under necessarily. It's not you talking to the customer necessarily. It's the outside influences that are seeping into the person's brain. It's taking time, right? I didn't just see the post and order and love it and be happy. I saw the post, I rejected it, I thought about it, I had prejudged the person who did the post. It wasn't until I got some third-party validation and had time to digest it that I dove in. I'm gonna, hang on one second, I'm gonna fix this blind. Sorry, I was being blinded by the light. Oh, and I kind of still am. Darn it, that's all right. Okay, so third-party validation takes away that prejudgment that you're most likely getting from family, friends, or strangers. So some of the tools that we have that are third-party that I don't know that people even realize they're third-party, one of the easiest, most accessible tools we have is the Le-Vel Facebook fan page. That page is full of other people who love the product. That's why it's so important that you share that page with people. That's why it's important that when somebody does start asking you questions, so remember, I'm not saying you're spitting it out at them first thing. You're not saying, hi, my name's Tammy, go like this page. You're like, hi, my name is Tammy, here's some stuff I'm into, here's a video I did that got you curious, here's a post I did about an event I was at that got you curious, and now you're asking me, what is this stuff? What is it that you do? What is it that you're taking? I'm sorry about the stripes on my face. I can't help it. It's a beautiful sunny day, finally, so we're just going to take it. So that's when you can say, oh, check out this fanbook page, or shoot, check out this Facebook page, and they can start just seeing all these stories of different people who love this product. Okay, this technical difficulties, let me move my stuff around here. I'm getting blinded, actually. Oh, look, now you can see the rest of my, oh, that's so much better. Okay, sorry. That's the beauty of live. Okay. So the Facebook fan page is an awesome resource with tons of other people besides you talking about how great the product is. There are YouTube page. We have Le-Vel has an amazing YouTube page with professional videos of testimonials. Because, you know, sometimes there's going to be a person who wants just a really rough, honest video, right? And then there's going to be some people who are like, well, wait a minute, don't they have a marketing budget? Does this company not have any money? Can they not afford a photographer? So you have both ends of that. You have our interviews that we do on Facebook that we can share with people, which are kind of like this, a little rough, that type of stuff, or you have these professional videos. So those videos, whether they are from maybe one of your upline or sideline doing a Facebook interview, or whether it's a professional one from our YouTube page, that's two different resources of videos. And guys, remember, videos, videos, videos. Sharing photos and sharing text is nice, but videos are what capture. So, and yes, that's up to this point, we've talked about videos capturing in the Facebook feed, but if you're going to shoot someone a PM, shoot them a video. I've been known to see that I've gotten a video, and I may not watch it, but I may listen to it while I'm driving. So, whereas I cannot stop and read someone's text while I'm driving. So, think about using the videos. Just remember on social media, we already have a pretty big presence. But, well, we have a huge presence actually on Facebook. We have one of the biggest Facebook pages. So, the Facebook page and the YouTube page are two of the outside sources you can use for third-party validation. Use them. You know what? Let me back up just a second. When do you use third-party validation? So I know I said you use it when you're, you know, if someone, you've finally got people excited and they've come to you and said, you know, what is this that you do, or what is this product that you're using? That's when you use it. But what do I mean by that? So when you're in the situation and someone says to you, okay, you know, what is it that you do? What is this stuff you're talking about? This shorter and simple and more, oh, hey, it's this that you can, the more nonchalant, I think is the word I want to use. The more nonchalant you can be about what it is that you use and do, the less salesy and desperate you seem. So, for instance, if someone says, let's say I'm at the store. This happened to me actually at Aldi. I totally forgot, but you could see DFT on my arm, and I forgot it said the world's first wearable nutrition. And I'm checking out at Aldi, and I hear this woman behind me go, world's first wearable nutrition. My immediate thought was, oh, it's a Thriver that I know. And I turn around, I'm like, hey, oh, I don't know you. I was like, I'm sorry. I said, and I was so confused. I was like, how does she know to talk about wearable nutrition, but I don't know who this person is? And she's like, your arm, what's that thing on your arm? Duh. Thank you, Paul and Jason. I was like, oh my gosh, my Thrive. I'm sorry. I said, and I really was totally thrown off my game because I thought I was going to know this person. So I just hurried up. I was checking out. There was a line. So as I was pulling out my wallet, I pulled out one of the brochures that I keep in my purse, and I was like, oh, I said, you should read about it. It's so awesome. Now, I didn't just give her a brochure. I gave her a brochure, right? I gave her something with my information on it. She was in a hurry. The checkout lady was not amused that these two people were spending time talking in her line, and I was in a hurry. So I passed my information on to her. But I didn't just pass out a brochure. I passed out my brochure to her, and we're going to talk about that. So I didn't make a big deal out of it. I didn't talk her head off. I didn't, hold up everybody in line. I didn't use it as oh, this is my chance to be on stage and talk. I just passed her the information. That's in my mind, I consider that a touch. I touched her with some information. As we were out in the parking lot, finally, I was loading my car. She was loading hers. I was like, it randomly, thank you, big man. She ended up right next to me. I was like, oh, that's so great. I get a chance to talk to you. I said, I really should have got your email. I can send you some more information if you're interested. And that's when I got her email. Again, I didn't say, oh my gosh, you have to learn all about it. I got to share this Facebook page with you, and here's my brochure, and I'm going to need your email. Right? You see the difference between this person who's like, oh yeah, this is a great product. I can share some information with you about it, versus, oh my gosh, I have to get a hold of you. I have to sell this to you. So you want to be nonchalant. You want to be approachable. You want to be a normal human being. Remember, you want to treat people the way you want to be treated. If someone ran after you in a parking lot and scared the crap out of you and said, oh, you have to try this, you'd be a little weirded out by it. I might even be tempted just to throw it away. So when you're using your third-party validation, remember, it's a tool to help you. It's not a tool to throw on top of someone. All right, so the two easiest were the Facebook fan pages and the YouTube videos. The other thing I want to talk to you is about printed material. Printed material is also a third-party validation because, again, it's not you talking about the product, it's something else talking about it. So, for instance, like I told you, I was given this magazine when I first started. So I could take this and give this magazine to someone. See, it's a nice-looking magazine, right? It's got all these pretty pages in it. But I could instead give them this kind of magazine, which is clearly labeled who gave it to them, right? You guys, don't be passing out information without your information on it. Take the time, run to the store, run to the Walmart, to the Office Depot, the whatever. I don't remember what size they are now, but you'll find them. I bought, I wonder if I would show this to you. I bought large labels. Can you see that? That's pretty big. Like, there's my hand, so you can see how big it is. That's a large label. I use these to put on magazines. It clearly has my name. It says, want to know why I love my Thrive? Dial these digits to here, and then my my pre-recorded call is on there. And then it says, ready to get started, call me. It has my cell phone on it, and then below it has my website on it. I have to think for a minute. So there that is, up close. I know it's backwards for you, I'm sorry, but it'll give you an idea. It's a pretty big label, and it works really well on our large Success from Home magazines, as well as that Thriving magazine that they came out with. And then I have just regular mailing labels, very simply, that just have my name, and then it says, ready to get started, call me, with my cell phone, and then it has my email. So obviously there's less space on these labels, but they fit perfectly in that little nook at the bottom of your brochures. Now, I have seen a lot of people use even neon colored labels. I didn't have the neon labels, I just used what I had, so I printed in color. You want something to catch their attention, but if you find I think a lot of times people use them for like yard sales and stuff, it's the neon yellow, neon orange, green, that kind of thing. That would definitely stand out on here. I tried with the purple writing, the orange stripe, and then, different size fonts to kind of catch someone's attention. So you just want to make sure that it's where you can see it. And, even inside the magazine, if you want, flip a couple pages in and throw in another one, because maybe they'll, forget that it's on the cover or whatever. But don't be giving out magazines that do not have a label on them. So I gave you an example of passing out a brochure at the grocery store. Now let me give you an example of using one of these bad boys. There's two that I've used, and I felt like it was successful, so I don't know, you can tell me. Number one was, I have this really sweet neighbor. She doesn't talk a whole lot, she's pretty quiet. But when she does, we inevitably end up talking for a really long time. So one time we were talking, and she was talking about work and whatever, this, that, and the other, and I was like, oh, I'm like, hang on one second. I ran in the house, I grabbed the magazine with the big label on it, and I took it back out. And I was like, you were talking about work. I said, my company is featured in this entire magazine. I said, they did an entire spread on it. It's so cool. I said, and they sent me, it's kind of a fib. I mean, they did send them to me, but I bought them. But either way, I was like, they sent me a bunch of them to pass out. I was like, do you want a copy? Well, this is an awesome looking magazine. There's a fitness girl on the front. She's not even sure what it's going to be about, but it's talking about leading edge, and it's talking about losing weight and getting fit. At the top, it says, stop settling for good enough. I mean, that's a magazine with some attention-grabbing headlines. And I don't know about you, but most women, I don't know about you guys, maybe you do too. If you do, you can tell me below. Most women love getting magazines. They love flipping through them. So she was like, oh my gosh, yes, I will totally. She said, that is so exciting that, So then she just started talking about how exciting it was and how long had I been working, for this company and all these things. And it really opened up the communication between us. And I didn't have to sell her anything. I just talked to her about the company that I worked for. I showed her, or I gave her a copy of this magazine. Now I've read at different things where they say, instead of the approach that I used where I was like, oh, they sent me a bunch to hand out, which is just kind of what came out of my mouth at the moment because that's how I run. Some people say you should say, oh, let me give you a copy of this to read. They sent me 5. Can I get it back from you in a couple of days? That is to encourage that person to definitely sit down and read it. That gives you a reason to follow up with them and say, hey, are you done with that magazine yet? I've got another person that I wanted to share it with. What did you like best about it? There's a whole sales process that you can go through with that. And so, that's 2 different ways right there that you can do it. One is my panicked version where I didn't really know what to say. So I was like, well, they sent me a bunch. And then the other is you can say, hey, I've only got like 4 or 5 of these, but I really want you to get a chance to look at it. It's so awesome. I'll call you in a couple of days and get it back from you. The other time that I felt it was more successful that I passed out a magazine was I went to my dentist's office, and I already know that one of the thrivers on our team is a dental hygienist there. So I purposely did not label my magazine. I'm still not sure that was totally right because I could have had them call me, but I know a lot of them already know that she does this. But she's not as active, so I felt like there was an opportunity there for me to practice this skill of passing out third-party material and to help her at the same time. So what I did was I carried my magazine into the dentist office because, inevitably you're going to be waiting. You're going to be in the waiting room. And so I was flipping through the magazine. And when they called my name to go back, and I'd already, when I got in, said hi to the receptionist. She's always super nice. How's your day going? Hope everything's blah, 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 that kind of stuff. So when I went to go back, I was like, hey, I can't think of her name now. Connie, maybe? And I was like, hey, Connie, I said, this magazine I brought, I said, it features my company in it. I said, do you want to look at it really quick? I said, I'll be back there probably 20 minutes or so. I said, check it out while I'm back there. Whether she was being polite or whether she was really excited, she was like, oh, yeah. Because, they've seen all the magazines that are in the lobby. They've seen them a million times over and over and over. So I gave her the magazine. I'm hoping that she looked through it while I was back there. I don't really know. When I went to leave, she was like, oh, what about your magazine? I said, you know what, just keep it. I said, I've got a few more copies at home. So I purposely wanted to make sure I left that magazine there. And I left it in someone's hands. I didn't just set it out in the lobby on the table. Do you know what I'm saying? You could do that, but they're probably going to throw it away. They're like, oh, what is this? And throw it away. But now she knows it's a magazine. So those are the two times that stand out most in my head when I pass out third-party material. Now, the other thing that I want to talk about is the 3-way call. I want you to think about, put yourself in the mindset that you have gone to the doctor, you've had some tests run, and you've got to go home and wait, 24, 48 hours, whatever. They're going to call you when everything is done and tell you what's going on. So a nurse calls you, leaves you a voicemail and says, here's what the doctor said, here's what he wants you to take, call us in 10 days. Okay. Wouldn't you have felt better if you had actually gotten to talk to the doctor? Wouldn't you have preferred spending even maybe just 5 minutes on the phone with the doctor and the doctor saying, this is what your results are showing, this is what I think you should take, and I'm going to follow up with you in 10 days. Wouldn't you have felt more comfortable talking to the person who actually knows what's going on? Or maybe just even talking to the nurse versus getting those voicemails that they love to leave. And that is because communicating voice to voice, person to person, live person to person is so much more powerful. Not only for hearing passion, excitement, care, and you can hear things through people's voices, but also because it's the human connection, and that is so important in our brains. We need that human connection to feel secure about what we're doing. So the next time you feel yourself saying, oh, I don't know, I can't put somebody on a three-way call, I don't want to do that to them. Well, man up, people. Do it for them. Put them on the phone with someone else for them. There are so many times when I'm the person who's on the three-way call. It's two best friends. They've known each other for years. I jump on this call, right? I'm the stranger. Suddenly, the best friend is telling me stuff that she's never told the other best friend. I have had so many people tell me about medication that they're on, tell me about accidents that they've been in, tell me about financial problems that they're having, marital problems that they're having, things that they've never told their friend, because they feel more comfortable telling a stranger, because I'm the expert that they brought on to talk to them about this product, this experience, or this possibility at owning your own business. So when they're opening up, and when I'm on a three-way call, I'm asking questions. I do tell my story, but I ask more questions. I want to know, where are they at? What are they feeling? What is it that they're hoping the product can help with? What are they struggling with? What are they worried about? The more questions you ask, the more they're going to tell you, the more you're going to be able to talk to them about your experience. I don't ever get medical on people, which I know is probably hard to believe because I am always so tempted. But, I'm the first one to say, talk to your doctor, talk to your pharmacist. We only want this to help you feel better. We would never want you to use something that might not help. But it's that connection that I, as the stranger / expert, make with this person that finally makes them feel like they really got the answer. Because remember, if it's your mom, your cousin, your best friend, the person you work with, they may not really trust you yet for this because they know you elsewhere. They know you outside of that realm. If you are a construction worker and now all of a sudden you're talking to people about supplement, in their mind they're like, well, what the heck do they know about supplements? They build bridges for a living, right? Or in my case, someone might be like, oh, she's a trainer. Yeah, they're all the time peddling supplements on people. They'll do anything for money. So even though, I know a lot of people think, oh, she's a trainer, it's easier. It's not. A lot of people get on the phone and they are so defensive with me immediately. I had a trainer one time and she had me take something and it made me sick. Or, well, I know you guys just get kickbacks. It's amazing the stuff I hear. But when I put them on the phone with someone else that they don't know, they're not mad anymore. They talk, they share, they have that chance to open up and be heard, ask their questions, and then I always tell people, thank you so much for letting me talk to you. I want to make sure if you do choose to go with Thrive that it's the right decision for you. So hopefully we've answered all your questions. That three-way call is not for you, that is for them. And if you keep that in mind and you get the heck out of your own way and stop thinking that you're bothering people, that you're going to be annoying, that you're being salesy, you will have so much more success. If someone is asking you, what's this Thrive stuff? How do I use it? What's it made of? How much does it cost? Let them talk to someone else. Do them a favor and give them someone else's ear to talk to. Get out of your own way. I'm going to end with what I think is the pure example of what a third-party validation does for someone. All right, so this is just funny that it worked out this way because I did move my camera around. You see behind me there, I've got some Thrive, right? So let's say this is a representation of a Thrive post. I've done something or I'm talking about something, but I've made some curiosity about Thrive. Someone says, hey, what's Thrive? Right? They're like, oh, hey, what's that Thrive stuff? Well, as soon as I'm like, oh, let me tell you all about Thrive. It's this, versus, did you see how I got in the way of the Thrive? Versus if they say, what is Thrive? And I say, oh, that stuff? oh yeah, that stuff. And I send them to a third-party validation. I send them to someone else. I give them a brochure. I do something besides get in the way. Then they have a better chance of actually learning about it and wanting to get into it. So, sorry. So, my point, use third-party validation. Stop trying to do all the talking. Stop trying to do all the negotiating. Stop trying to be Thrive Central. Just be the person who attracts people to you because you feel great, you're working on yourself, you're throwing out things that are super important and valuable to people, and then when the time comes and people start asking you the questions, point them in the direction of someone else. Point them in the direction of a magazine. Point them in the direction of your upline. Point them in the direction of a Facebook page. Just don't be blocking their view and getting in the way of progress. If when I started asking questions to Jessie in the very beginning, if she had tried to answer all of them, let me see, I'm going to zoom out here. I forgot. I feel like I'm way up in there. If she had tried to answer all of them, first of all, I probably would not have put 100% trust into it because as being in the profession I'm in, I was just automatically assuming that I knew more, right? And trust me, there's a lot of people out there who automatically assume they know more than you. You may have been using Thrive for 18 years, but they use one product one time and it sucks, so they're going to tell you they know more than you do. So if I had just tried to get all my information from her, if I hadn't gotten the third-party validation from the magazine and been able to do my own research, and when I say research, obviously I researched the product. I think everybody knows that. But the other thing I did was, as soon as I opened up this magazine and I saw there was a profile of Pam and Chris Ortez, you better bet I Facebook stalked them. And then I saw a profile from, Nikki and Charlotte Gullahorn. You better bet I Facebook stalked them because I wanted to know. They're in the magazine, but what are they doing in real life? And so open up those doors for people. Let people do their own research. When somebody decides in their mind, I want to thrive, they are going to be such a great customer for you. When you push someone and they're like, okay, all right, I'm going to try, I'm going to thrive, it's not worth the fight, you guys. They disappear after a month, or on their second day, they're like, oh my gosh, this actually happened. My nose is running and it won't stop. It has to be from this Thrive. Don't push people into it. Lead them into it, right? It's nobody wants to be sold. I think we hear that all the time, but then when we start talking to people, we forget that. Nobody wants to be sold. People want to be educated. They want to make their own decision. And when you have someone who firmly says, I'm going to thrive, they're going to thrive. They're going to use it. They're going to follow the directions. They're going to stay in contact with you. They're going to start talking to their friends. When you push someone to thrive, they're going to, have a bad experience already. They're going to just assume that if they want to thrive, that they have to push people into it. And we don't want people to think that. They're going to start to notice everything and anything that went wrong because they weren't ready yet to try it and they're already nervous. So lead people to the water. If they drink, great. If they don't, go grab some more and lead them to the water. But remember, the water is not you. The water is your third-party validation. So I hope this helped. I see there's people watching. You guys aren't the chattiest groups when I'm on the videos, and that's okay. But I would love in the comments some feedback if you took anything out of this that you were like, oh wow, I never thought about that before, or if you have some tips and tricks about third-party validation, I want you to share them with the group as well. So with that, I'm going to sign off, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.